Alright. Alright. Yeah, we have come here on one of the last 2 days that this event that I am wanting to play is running. What the fuck? No, need that. Wait. Also, let me just grab something cool to drink, because I have my box here with cool things. Not cool drinks, I guess. It's not as cool as I thought it would be. Yeah. Maybe it's just too warm for that cooler box to keep it cool. So, welcome. Welcome. Just take a sip. Because while this says that it ends in 9 days and 4 hours, that is not technically true. What ends in 9 days and 4 hours is just the ability to turn the currency into stuff from the shop. The actual story event ends in 2 days. However, we don't have that much to go through. So let me... Wait. With a deafening screech, the doors to the intercontinental train car slowly grind open. A green-tinted figure rides the flow of the crowd into the cabin and quickly strides over to her cramped window seat. On the train, I'll be back once the request is complete. Diane will manage the squad's affairs while I'm away. I would also urge everyone to rationally consider my proposal. After sending that message to the squad's chat group, Zahi puts down her comms terminal and turns her gaze outside the train window. Somewhere in a place where she cannot see, a gigantic MBV is encamped in the wilderness over 10 kilometers away from the supply station. Just then, metal shutters close over the armored glass windows of the cabin, obscuring everything from view. With nothing to look at, Zahi shifts her gaze to look inside the cabin. More and more people file into the cabin, filling up the seats around her. Soon there's a loud whistling as the fully loaded train lurches into motion, gradually picking up speed as it pulls out of this tiny supply station. And also away from the Elmo. 1 week ago, aboard the Elmo. The Elmo set off once again after the mission to render emergency assistance to Fall 4. We're heading towards Lviv to keep up promise with Kalina. Ever since we got caught up in this crazy commission, the masterminds hidden within the shadows have gradually come to the fore. As a result, the agreement that has bound me for 10 years has begun to lapse, and the number of Tolls who just happened to return to the Elmo has grown as well. While meeting old friends is always a joyous occasion, it does lead to some awkward moments at times. For instance, a herd of upshares in a place like this. That does seem to be the case. What should we do about them, Commander? 3 minutes ago, I was chatting loudly with the others when I got a report from Mei Ling. The Elmo encountered a herd of upshares while cruising across the landscape. I ain't no foxlum. How are you doing? Hope you're doing great. Always great to see you. I reflexively began issuing orders to the dolls around me in order to get us into action quickly and minimize the damage to the MBV's undercarriage. Zenderesi Macchiato, guard the forward engine. Monsoon Squad will cover the rear. Diane, Jangyo, and Zahi flank from behind and pick off any upshares that approach. Jawohl. Understood. Time to me to show my stuff. As I finish giving orders, the dolls reply in affirmative, one after another. The sole exception is the doll in green before me, who's stroking her knife as she quirks up an eyebrow. Am I part of this operation too? I smile sheepishly as I look at her. Well, am I? After realizing what I've done, I look at Zahui and the embarrassed smile fades from my face. During the years since I left Griffin, Diane, Jangyu, and CZ-75, who hadn't arrived in time to meet me, found each other in the contamination zone, started traveling together, and eventually formed a band, tactical squad, Monsoon Squad. You forgot to... Thank you for the but I ain't no pup. But I'm doing... I can't in good conscience say that I'm doing well, but I'm doing. I have forgotten to start this software, because I am really dumb. Me. Also, I have a cold. It's not a big cold, it's just mildly annoying. It's the rapid weather changes that are very annoying. Because, well, yesterday, I think it peaked at, like, barely 18 degrees C. Today, it's 28. It's great. Fucking love it. When Diane and Jangyu came to my aid, Zahui, the leader of the Monsoon squad, accompanied them without complaints. Strictly speaking, however, she and the squad are not part of the Almo, and as such, I have no authority over her or any right to give her orders. I'm sorry, I started barking orders without realizing, and I didn't seek your opinion on the matter. Still, this is something of an emergency, so would you mind if I borrowed 2 of your members for the time being? Naturally, if you were willing to help out too, I don't mind at all. As the saying goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Not said, Monsoon Squad has not conducted many joint operations with other tactical units in the past, so we're not really used to it. Nah, what do you mean you're not used to it? Just stay in the Almo for a few more days and you'll be right at home. Jangya walks over with a cheerful smile on her face and pats Zahui on the shoulder. Commander's super trustworthy, you know? When it comes to fighting, just leave everything to him. Right. Let's go then. Zahui nods and says no more. She follows Jangyu and the others as they jog down the corridor. As I watch her eye-catching green silhouette shrink into the distance, I shake my head. Groza hears me and approaches, tactical tablet in hand. Commander, we should hold a welcoming party for... should we hold a welcoming party for Monsoon Squad? I just checked. We have some decorations left over in the storeroom. Now let's save the welcoming party for later. We still don't know what Monsoon Squad thinks about all of this, and Season 75 isn't with them either. It'll be very awkward if they end up declining our offer. In that case, what if we have Monsoon Squad put on a guerrilla performance? Heat. It do be very hot. I agree. I do agree. Heat waves suck. Yeah, they do. They just finished an emergency reinforcement mission, so having them put on a show would be a way for them to relax. You can use this opportunity to have a good chat with the rest of Monsoon, too. That does sound like it's worth a try. Can you help me make the arrangements, Groza? Just leave it to me. Oh yes, Connor. There's one more thing. She hands me her tablet. The screen shows me a new email from Brief. Investigate unusual Vajega activity. Brief sure knows how to saddle me with more work. Can we not take this one? We barely just scraped together these few days of free time. Calorie counting and having the urge for soft surf. Yeah. Yeah. Look, Commander, the pay for this commission is the biggest we've recently gotten, and besides, Brief hands out commissions based on the contractor's previous performance. Let me guess, we're in the red again. Most perceptive, Commander. We spent a lot of that operation to assist 4-4, and now that we have more people on the Elmo, we may have to throw ourselves on Miss Cullen's mercy when we arrive in Lviv. At this rate, it'll be mercy if we actually make it to Lviv in the first place. Take care of this commission too. We'll head out once Monsoon Squad does their show. Understood. 2 days ago, on the Elmo. The lunch is packed with people even though it's close to midnight. Monsoon Squad's first guerrilla life has just ended in a resounding success. Marvelous, your dancing was just magical, Jungyu. I thought Miss Diane's Guzheng music? I don't know what the fuck that is. Was moving too. I prefer Zahui's Sona accompaniment. The solo near the end was quite stirring. Upon hearing the people praise them, Jangya puffs up her chest with a smug look on her face. How's that, Commander? I did well, didn't I? Yes, you did. My hands are actually sore from clapping. Too bad we couldn't do a complete show because Faye isn't here. If all of Monsoon were here and we had Faye to play the drums for us, we'd really bring the house down. Isn't that right, Bixis? Zahui? Jangya merrily grabs Diane with one hand and Zahui with the other, placing herself in between them. Yes, I do hope Faye will be able to return soon. My dear sister's been rather listless while handling the drums without Faye around to be her sparring partner. Every member of Monsoon truly is indispensable. Diane smiles and squishes Jung's cheeks. In contrast, Zai puts his soma away and silently takes a step away from the group. That would depend on the circumstances. At times, removing an unnecessary cord improves the piece as a whole. What's that supposed to mean? Since when did Big Sis put unnecessary stuff into her work? There aren't any in Monsoon's composition, but the same does not necessarily apply to others. Zoe shoots me a meaningful look. Huh? What do you mean, others? You're just looking for a reason to slack off, aren't you? Big Sis, you see what she's doing? Zhang pouts in annoyance, but Zoe pays her no further heed, merely nodding to me in acknowledgement before leaving the group entirely. She finds a quiet corner and begins looking at her communications terminal. The lounge is warmly lit and full of life, yet the screen figure seems to radiate an aura that deters others. Occasionally, curious dolls try to approach her, but in the end they are driven off by Zoe's cold intensity. I should take this opportunity to speak with Zoe. After making up my mind, I begin heading towards her. However, right as I do so, Zoe suddenly puts the terminal away and approaches me instead. Commander, are you free? There's something I'd like to discuss with you. Of course. In fact, I was just about to speak to you. Zoe raises an eyebrow in surprise. I'll get right to it then. Commander, I would like to leave the Elmo for a while. Pardon? Please don't get me wrong. This is purely a personal matter. A friend of mine needs help with the commission, and I think that it's a good chance to consider the future for you, me, and Monsoon Squad. Zoe's words take me completely by surprise. Still, she has a point. This is a good chance for her to take some time and consider the future of the Monsoon Squad. By all means. I have no objections to that. Thank you, Commander. That's all I have to say. You said you wanted to speak to me. All the words I had in mind seemed to lose all meaning in the face of Zahui's calm expression. Oh well, perhaps now is not the right time. It's nothing. We can talk about it when you get back. Since you're heading out, you should talk to your teammates about it. After giving up on the idea of having an in-depth conversation with Zahui, I nod to her and leave the lounge. Zahui watches the commander leave, then she turns her gaze to Jungyu and Diane, who are in the middle of a throng of dolls. Should she interrupt this lively gathering now, Zahui wonders. However, Diane seems to sense Zahui looking at her, and she soon exits the group to approach the latter. Zahui, what were we talking about with the commander just now? He was just saying hello. Was he? You seem rather subdued tonight for some reason. Are you still not used to this place? I apologize for not being considerate. It was my fault for asking you to come all the way out here with us. There's a worried look on Diane's face, as though she already knows what's weighing on Zoe's heart. However, Zoe dismisses it with a slight shake of her head. You don't have to apologize. We're a team and it's only natural that we should travel together. Trusting in you was also a collective decision, and Faye would have come too if she were able. Thank you. With that being said, would you like to meet some of my past friends? Miss Groza mentioned she'd hoped tonight would help you get acquainted with everyone, but it appears to have inconvenienced yourself. But it appears to have inconvenienced you instead. Zoe shakes her head again. There's no need for that. We still have a lot of time. We don't have to rush things. After this roundabout refusal, the two of them briefly fall silent. Zoe once again glances toward the center of the lounge, where Jungi is happily discussing the finer points of her performance with several of the Elmo dolls in the space that was cleared out for the show. She contemplates her words for a moment, then she speaks again. What do you plan to do after this? Will you stay on the Elmo? What do you plan to... Zoe, are you going to... are you saying you're not going to stay with us? I'm simply unsure as to whether remaining here is the right choice. Monsoon Squad ought to be like the wind, should we not? Constantly on the move, constantly setting on new travels. At the very least, that was what I believed when I first agreed to become the leader. Zoe... Hey, Big Sis, Zoe, what's going on? You both look so serious. Let me in on it too. Upon seeing Zoe and Diane and Zoe whispering to each other, Jungi immediately excuses herself and scampers over, inserting herself between the two of them. Jungi, we are discussing Monsoon's future. Zoe doesn't give Diane the chance to soften the blow. If you remain on the Elmo, then will Monsoon still be Monsoon? I want to know what you and Faye think about all this. Of course we will. Monsoon's the same anywhere we go, right? No, wait. Why are we talking about all of this all of a sudden? And why do you bring Faye into this? What are you getting at, Zoe? After her burst, Jungi glances over at Diane's frowning face, and understanding gradually dawns on her. Wait, are you saying you want to break up Monsoon? Zhang Yu's sudden exclamation draws a few curious looks from the nearby dolls. Zhang Yu grabs Zhao by the shoulders and starts shaking her, not daring to believe her ears. Zhao Yu remains silent, neither nodding nor shaking her head. But why? We were a team, aren't we? Even if you're the leader, you can't just decide to break us up just like that. Yes, Zhao, even if you're not used to the Elmo, calm down and listen to me. I didn't say I was going to break up Monsoon. Zhao Hui calmly raises a towel and shows it to the two of them. I might be the squad leader, but I have never once felt that Monsoon's fate is mine to decide. I know that the Elmo and the Commander have a place in your hearts, just as I know Monsoon has a place in ours. Therefore, what I put forward was merely a suggestion, one that requires Faye's involvement as well. Let me see. Zhang studies the terminal and finds the latest message in the squad's group chat. I would like you to decide the future of Monsoon Squad's roster before I finish my commission. Huh? Wait, what commission? Did Monsoon Squad get a new commission? No, not Monsoon Squad. Just me. I received a personal request from an old friend just now. Do you remember Amida? That name sounds familiar. Isn't she that broker friend of yours who saved you and helped you fix your frame? Indeed. She asked me to help bodyguard a friend of hers. I checked the location of the commission and it's located in a nearby city. It's just a few hours away by train. Huh? So you're going to run off by yourself to handle the commission and you're leaving us here to, what, decide whether you're staying or going? So, do we even need to think about this? Zhang Yu. Of course you do. Monsoon has never encountered a situation like this before, and I believe that we all need to take some time to think about it. In any case, I've already spoken to the commander about leaving the Elmo for the time being. Let's see, so that exchange just now was... Did the commander agree to it? Zhao nods. Alright, I understand. Sis! Zhang Yu tugs unhappily on Diane's sleeve, but the latter merely nods. It seems she has accepted Zhao's suggestion. In that case, how much time will we have to decide? Zhao turns to look at Diane. Her expression seems much more composed in contrast to Diane's worried look and Zhang Yu's scowling face. Not too long. The commission will be 2 weeks long. I hope that when we meet again, we'll be able to make a decision that none of us will regret. Okay. The crisp sound of footsteps echoes down the alley. Zhao follows the address displayed on her terminal and turns a corner to yet another rundown alley. The already poor lighting is obscured further by the tall, crumbling walls around her, making the cramped alley appear even more oppressive. Ida and the Talia troop really located here. Zhao comes to her halt as she eyes her surroundings in suspicion before checking the terminal again. However, the terminal indicates that the blinking icon of her destination is close by. Looks like they are. Still, this commission of Amida is really 2 days ago on the Elmo. Zai's terminal has been vibrating throughout the show. Upon noticing the name blinking on the screen, Zai quickly excuses herself and leaves. After finding a quiet corner, Zai takes a call. What's the matter, Amida? Zai, you free? Can you help bodyguard a friend of mine? The theater troupe is going on tour in the Yellow Zones for a couple of weeks, but she's been really unlucky lately and keeps getting harassed by weirdos, so I'm a little worried. I wanted to hire a PMC squad to protect her, but she said the troop couldn't afford the higher security, and they were worried that the security people would interfere with the performance because they don't know about this. Plus, she said that she didn't want me to pay and basically just shut down all my suggestions. So I thought and thought about who I knew that could fight and understood this theater stuff, and in the end, only you came to mind. But if she won't accept bodyguards, then how am I supposed to protect her? I've got a brilliant plan. Just say you're a friend of mine and that you want to join the troop as an assistant to gain some performance experience. She's a nice person, and I'm sure she'll say yes if she hears that a friend needs help. I didn't say I was free to take the commission. But you answered me. That means you're definitely open to it. Her name's Ida. This is where she and her troop are staying for the time being. Please help me out. I'll pay for this. You don't have to. I'll be doing it. It'll be doing you a favor. After ensuring that the address is correct, Zoe heads into the depths of the twisted alley. Just then, a scream comes from within. The panic shriek seems especially loud in the dark confines of the alley. Zoe breaks into a sprint as she runs towards the source of the sounds, but then she sees a dark shape suddenly burst out of the shadows and dart past her. Help! He took my bag! Stop him! Before the voice finishes speaking, Zoe's already turned around and is in hot pursuit of the and is hot on the heels of the robber. The robber clearly doesn't expect Zoe to catch up so soon and pulls out a knife, swinging it wildly at her. Zoe nimbly evades the slashing knife and kicks it away before grabbing the robber's arm with lightning speed. With a quick reversal of her grip to take him off his feet, she slams him to the ground and pins him there. Ow, 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 that hurts! Zoe ignores the robber's cries of pain and unwinds the cloth from her arm, using it to hog-tie the man. After that, she picks up the bag the robber was holding and heads back into the depths of the alley. There's a boy there who's struggling to get to his feet. A hat lies before him on the dust of the alley grounds. Zoe walks up to him, and then picks up the hat before stuffing it and the bag into the boy's hands. Here, your things. Yes. The boy is clearly still shocked as he numbly accepts his belongings from her. Zoe gently pats his shoulder, like she's trying to console him. It's okay, just catch your breath. I'll contact the police. They'll send someone over to take care of us soon. Thank you? After hugging his back and panting heavily for a bit, the boy finally manages to calm down. He stands up, dusts himself off, and puts his hat back on his head before bowing slightly to Zahui. Thank you. Thank you very much for your help just now. In stark contrast to his tatty clothes, this boy's voice is clear and compelling. Don't worry about it. That was nothing. Still, why did you come here by yourself? Do you live here? I guess sort of. The truth is, I came here to collect inspiration. I'm from an acting troupe. We have a play going. We have a play which we're going to perform while doing a charity tour in the Yellow Zone. But my gut told me that there was room for improvement, so I asked everyone in the troupe to come here to take in the surroundings so we could understand the audience better. See? I look just like a Yellow Zoner, right? Well, you do look like the Yellow Zone residents I've seen before. See? Everyone in the troupe was saying this outfit was perfect for the female lead to wear while traveling in the Yellow Zone. The female lead? Zoe scans the boy again. Yep. Applies about two girls becoming friends and adventuring in various parts of the world. No, what I want to ask is, you're a girl. The boy blinks, then reaches up to his hat. She removes it, and a shock of soft, combed hair spills out as she laughs merrily. Yep, 100% girl right here. Looks like my immersive style of cultural inspiration was a great success. Immersive style? This outfit might look ragged and all, but it's an actual stage costume. I'm wearing this so I can get into the character more easily. Still, I didn't expect to get robbed even though I looked so destitute. Just my luck, I guess. Although, when you think about it, it's quite common for people in these areas to get robbed too. Maybe we should try and work this part into the script as well? The girl pulls out a terminal and quickly notes it down. The girl's panic from just now seems to fade as she gets more and more into her immersive cultural inspiration. It is only when she finally finishes making notes that she realizes that there is someone beside her, waiting patiently. I'm sorry, I end up getting carried away and babbling nonsense. You must have been bored, right? I mean, thank you very much for what you did just now. I'm an actress from the Talia troupe. May I know who you... Hello, I'm Zahui. Zoe holds out a hand to her, a faint slight rigid curve tugging at the corners of her lips. Do you know perhaps Miss Ida of the Talia group? Eh? And that's what happened, manager. What do you think of Miss Zahi? Can't you join us? She comes highly recommended by the broker friend of mine. After returning to the troupe's temporary quarters, the girl explains Zahi's circumstances to the troop manager. The manager gives Zahi a severe once-over and is very pleased by it. I didn't expect you to be a doll with both stage and combat experience, Miss Zahi. Is that broker friend of yours who's vouching for her the one who burst into tears while watching our previous show? If I'm not wrong, her name sounded like yours. Something duh? That's her, yes. Her name is Amida. She might be small, but she's a big figure in the underground broker business. Yes, I remember. The contamination zones really do breed talented people. The manager looks at Zahui. To be honest, we're really hurting for manpower this tour, and anyone with plenty of experience and who can handle many roles is more than welcome to join us, doll or otherwise. However, this is a charity tour in the contamination zones. We won't be making much in the way of fees, and the troop budget is, well, your salary might be... The manager smiled bitterly. It's alright. I'm here to get experience, being paid for the secondary. I'm glad that doesn't bother you. So is that a yes, manager? Mm-hmm. Of course, frankly speaking, I need to thank you for joining us on such short notice, Miss Zahui. The true manager looks at Zahui and holds out a welcoming hand. Glad to have you with us, Miss Zahui. The Talia troop welcomes you. Besides the manager, Ida laughs and pats Zahui on the shoulder. Yep. We'll be traveling buddies for going forward, Miss Zahui. And then some random bit of unrelated combat. Which is fine, I guess. Wait, was there a doll at the end there? Why is Groja here? That plays well. What? That is odd. The thing is, does it really matter? No, but it's just weird. Boom. And you just kind of explode these two. Bang. The Talia troops' convoy pulls slowly into the settlement and comes to a halt amidst the loud cheering. A vehicle door opens and the troop dismounts, depositing huge crates on a patch of open grounds. The girl at the head gives everyone present a breezy greeting. The wrinkles between Zahui's eyebrows soften a little as she takes in the boisterous crowd outside. She drags a couple of heavy crates from the cargo bed and follows after the girl. Where are we putting these crates? Just to put them aside the advertising billboards for now. Those crates are kind of heavy, aren't they? You should let the props department move them. That's alright. It's no trouble for me. As she says so, Zaya hoists the crates into a large circular clearing that's ringed by a fence and wooden posts of old rope. She lays the crates in the center of the space reserved for the stage, then bends down to straighten the bunch of simple-looking billboards. Said billboards were made just for this show. The pit of surface is then covered in huge, eye-catching letters. The Daybreak's Oath is now on tour. Wait a minute. No, that's gotta be coincidence. There's no fucking way that they're gonna, like, go over the Daybreak Squad story again. As she sees what Zong is doing, the girl laughs and heads over for help. You're way too nice. While we took you on assistance, you ended up doubling as an escort and took out all those elites too. That must have been hard. You don't need to take on all these other tasks as well. Not at all. I'm helping myself by doing that too. There aren't too many troops out there who welcome outdoor assistance, and I'd like to show I'd like more show experience myself. Oh, don't say that. You know the state our troops in. We're lucky enough to help people wanting to help out. We don't have the right to be picky. Speaking of which, are you trying to build up this experience because of that band of yours? I remember Amida said something about a monsoon or something? Oh, nice name. Going wherever you please like the wind. You must have been a lot of places in the past, right? Zawi's hands freeze mid-movements, but only for a moment. Yes, we've been to many satellite cities. So you get to travel and perform with your friends. I'm so envious. Ida smiles, then sighs quietly. For some reason, there's a hint of sadness in her expression. Miss Ida? Huh? Is something wrong? Miss Ida, aren't you traveling with the troop too? Yeah, everyone's here for a friend of mine, but there are times when I wish I had a closer friend around. Well, let's leave that aside for now. I suddenly remember that it's going to be a while before rehearsals, so could you do me a favor, Miss Aoi? What do you need? Ida puts a copy of the script in the comm terminal from a bag. Well, I heard one of the residents say there was an abandoned town around here, not far from our camp. Could you accompany me there? I'd like to take this opportunity to gather more inspiration about the Yellow Zone. I'm sure the manager and the others will feel better with you around. Right, manager? Ida waves to the manager, who's fairly close by. After seeing a sunny smile, the manager has no choice but to wave back. Go ahead, but don't take too long and stay safe. I'll be fine with Mrs. Aoi around, don't worry. Let's head out then, Miss Aoi. Our jeep is this way, follow me. More combat. But this time, no weirdly placed dolls. So, there's that. I was a little bit confused when I saw Groja just kind of being there. That's mildly annoying. Yeah, that's better. You unfortunately cannot reach the other target, so I'm just gonna shoot it. But screech. In keeping with Ida's request, Zai brings the jeep to a halt on the streets of the abandoned town. The moment it stops, Ida practically bursts out the door and runs over to stand in front of the cluster of ruined buildings. Now these look pretty intact. The walls on the side collapsed and the pipes are all rusted through. Still, they make for a good reference, along with the abandoned cabling here. I should get the footage of the cracks in the walls too. Ida holds the terminal up and begins recording her surroundings as she walks forward. What a shame, this town is completely ruined. I wonder why. Ediths, collapse radiation, Villegas. Take your pick. Zai keeps a watchful eye on the surroundings as she walks behind Ida. Still, I can see old signs of a firefight. Perhaps the resident faults Villegas here. Let's see, the Villegas really are everywhere, aren't they? Looks like you need to know how to defend yourself when traveling the Yellow Zones. Ida's mood turns morose all of a sudden. However, she soon perks up and begins rattling off questions while filming her surroundings. Miss Aoi, since you travel with your friends all the time, you must have passed through the Yellow Zone quite often, right? Are your friends as awesome as you are? Yes. They're skilled at both fighting and performing. Wow, that's amazing. Then, are they on tour recently? Why didn't they come with you? The sudden question about why she has parted ways with her friends catches Zai off guard and she lapses into silence. After thinking about her answer for a bit, Zai is about to speak when she hears a suspicious sound. Footsteps on a paved road, and the sounds of an unfamiliar male voice speaking. Didn't you say you saw a woman leave the troop with her friends? Where the hell is she? Search harder. The jeep's by the side of the road. They can't have gotten far. Before Ida can react, Zai grabs her hand and ducks behind the nearby wall with her. Zai looks Ida in the eye, then shakes her head and speaks in a quiet voice. Shh, we're being followed. What? I don't know who they are, but it seems they're gunning for you. There are two of them. Wait, me? Ida's body begins to tremble. Sensing Ida's fear, Zai gently but firmly presses down on her shoulder. Ida, have you ever seen an upside-down tortoise? The little legs flaying in the air as they try to get upright. What? Stay here and don't move. I'll show you now. Right as she finishes speaking, Zai springs out of cover. The green flash, her bullets, and a blade streak through the air towards the two men peering into the rubble. They are instantly thrown into disarray and stumble back into the ruined walls, completely off balance. What the fuck are you running for? Shoot her, she's just one girl! She's too fast, I can't even... Ah! A green-colored flash interrupts her reply with a kick, and his attempt at striking back is cut off by an emerald knife. Hand strike. A knife hand strike. The leading man goes down, and Zai steps into fill the gap. The green-tinted knife slices through the air in front of the other man, cutting off his escape and cornering him in an instant. In less time than it takes to draw breath, the knife's edge presses against the man's throat, and Zai speaks coldly. Freeze. Using the ropes on the jeep, Zai tosses them up like turkeys and leaves them tied upside down by the roadside. She then dusts off her hands before lightly clapping a hand on Ida's shoulder. See, upside down tortoises. Won't be winning any races with the bunnies, that's for sure. The bondmen are struggling and appear to be trying to speak, but the gags prevent them from doing so, or they can manage to muffle vocalizations. As Ida watches them squirm in the bonds, the tension finally leaks from her and she laughs. I feel much better now, thank you, Zoe. You're welcome. Still, who are these people? Why would they go after you? I don't know. Ida bites her lip and shakes her head. Upon seeing that Ida is completely clueless, Zoe walks up and pulls the gag from one of them. Why are you following Ida? Who sent you? Our employer told us to follow the lead actors of the troupe. We're just doing this because we're paid. We don't know anything. Who hired you? It was an anonymous request made through the underground markets. How the hell would we know? Why don't you ask this chick who would have... this chick who would have a grudge against her? The man's answer is direct and to the point. Zoe turns to look at Ida. Well, Ida? A grudge against me? Ida clenches her fist and thinks for a bit. Then she shakes her head. Sorry, Miss Zoe, I can't think of anyone. Could they be going after the troupe? I mean, I'm the lead actress. Zoe falls silent for a moment, so then turns back to the bondmen, her knife raised. However, just as I was about to bring it to the next, Ida suddenly steps up and tucks in Zahui. Miss Zoe, please wait. Zoe frowns. Ida tightens her grip around Zoe's arm and shakes her head violently, worriedly. You won't learn anything even if you keep questioning them, right? That show hasn't even started yet, and the troupe will have to stay here for a while. If we end up offending someone now... Alright, I understand. Zoe swipes her knife through the air one more time before returning it to its sheath. The ropes binding the men come apart, and the two upside-down tortoises fall heavily to the ground. Zoe leans against the two men's jeep and icily watches the two men trying to free themselves. I'm letting you go because Ida pleaded for you. Don't let me see you again. Yes, ma'am. The two suspicious-looking men drive away under Zahui's watchful gaze. As she watches them leave, Ida bows to Zahui. I'm sorry, Miss Zahui. I didn't mean to stop you from looking into things just now. No need to apologize. I understand. The trip doesn't need distractions before the show begins. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I have another imposition to make. Ida puts her hands together and bows slightly to Zahui. Could you please not tell the others about this? I don't want the others to worry about me. Please? Please, Miss Zahui, please. In the end, Ida's sincere plea triumphs over Zahui. Alright, I'll keep quiet about this. But if anything comes up that disturbs the show, I'll tell the troupe the truth. Yeah, that's fine. It's the deal then. Thanks, Miss Zahui. Oh yeah, we should head back to our camp. Rehearsal ought to be starting soon, and we've spent enough time out here as it is. Ida hurries over to the jeep parked nearby. Zahui jogs after her, but she casts her eye into the distance. Toward the direction of the men's vehicle. It is very warm. Very, very, very warm. Night falls and the troop campsite, which was bustling with activity during the day, has calmed down as everyone retires to their quarters for rest. However, Zoe is quietly opening the door to her quarters. After quickly looking around and outside and ensuring everything is normal, she surreptitiously drives away from the campsite. The jeep rises over the wilderness toward the abandoned town Zoe and Ida had visited in the day for their cultural inspiration. She parks outside the town, then dismounts before examining her surroundings and the grounds. Two of them left from here. These tire tracks look new, and they match the model of the jeep and the direction they took to leave. That's right, those are the tracks. She follows the somewhat indistinct tire tracks, the jeep turning here and there, stopping and starting again. Finally, Zoe comes to a halt outside a secluded valley. She's hunting them down. Before her are a dozen of vehicle tracks, all leading towards the valley's mouth. What's going on here? Zoe parks the jeep in a secluded corner and cautiously approaches the mouth of the valley. She looks for a good vantage point, which she can use to peer deeper within. at this floor, she sees several rows of dilapidated houses. The lights illuminate the valley and the vehicles of various makes driving through it, as well as the people patrolling beside them. Even from afar, the unique style of dress instantly tells Zahi who they are. Paradise? Oh, no, Villegas. Okay. Zahi frowns. The Vegas are endemic to the Yellow Zones, so finding one of the bases isn't exactly out of the ordinary. However, the men she caught earlier today didn't seem like Villegas, so what exactly is going on here? Just as I sinks into her thoughts, she hears a sound from nearby. We found it, over here. Zai quickly ducks behind a pile of rocks and looks at the source of the sound. A pair of figures walk through the night. The one in front appears to be a girl, and the one behind wearing a huge coat. There seems to be something familiar about them. Zai ups the output of her visual modules, and just as she's about to study them in more detail, they suddenly turn to water. Look out, there's somebody up ahead! The speakers open fire, and the bullet kicks up spray at... and the bullet kicks up a spray of sand at Zoe's feet. The girl is already running towards her. Zoe ducks behind a nearby wall. The fact that they have managed to spot her so easily is a clear sign that they aren't ordinary people, and normally, picking a one-on-two fight would not be wise. However, if the one in the back is someone important, then taking them out might be a good idea too. Upon making up her mind, Zai bursts out from behind a pile of rocks and throws a grapple rope around the coated figure. Look out! The girl immediately turns to cover Zai's target, but she can't swat the grapple away in time. The coated figure executes a combat roll and evades the thrown spike. However, Zai has already launched herself forward by now. Commander! Another burst of bullets dodges Zai's steps. Oh wait, that's us. Ha! Drowning out the world got worse. Zari evades them with a rapid dash, and her hand tightens around a knife as she leaps forward again. The blade slashes through the fabric of the coat, and the light reflecting from the knife's blade illuminates the wearer's face. Commander? Zahui? After a little scuffle, I explain the reason why we're here to Zahui. So you're saying that you're here to investigate the Villega activity in the region? Indeed. The Elm recently got a commission to track down these Villegas. You wouldn't have known because Groza and I set out a little after you. According to Brief, this particular band has been going all out with a killing, looting, and burning, and a few broker friends of mine have reported losing stock to them as well. They're very familiar with the terrain, and we only just managed to find the base today. But enough about us. What about you, Zawi? I suppose someone as capable as you must think nothing of coming to a Vallega stronghold by yourself so late at night. It was merely a coincidence that I ended up here. I didn't expect the Vallegas would have their eyes on my client. Seriously? Who is the client of you, anyway? She's an actress. Her troupe just arrived at the settlement yesterday, and they're preparing for a show. I have no idea why the Vegas would go after her. Perhaps it's just a misunderstanding. After all, they're performing a troupe from the Green Zone. So perhaps they appear to, like, plump sheep to these hungry wolves? Let's see. Still, she only arrived yesterday, and people already have their sights on her. It's quite surprising just how eager the Villegas are about all this. What do you plan to do now, Commander? Are you going to wipe out the stronghold? I'm not in a hurry to do so. My assignment was to conduct a discreet investigation, so in principle, I'm just supposed to remotely observe them. The important thing is to get a feel for the overall situation, so I won't be making contact with them or entering the hideouts unless I have to. And besides, it seems these Vegas have some kind of a boss in charge of them. They have more than one base, so sniffing them all is going to take a while. What a pain. Zaya thinks for a while. A moment later, she looks up at me. In that case, I have a proposition, Commander. Go ahead. At first, I thought that this was just an ordinary case of someone trying to intimidate my client, but things are clearly not that simple, since the situation involves the Villegas. After taking into consideration the troop's safety and the secret investigation you're conducting, would you be willing to join the troop protection mission for the time being and work with me? So the troop serves as both bait and cover for our investigation. That sounds like a win-win situation. Yes. Also, if anything happens, the client and the troop will be safer with you and Miss Groza around. I don't mind. But the client and troop, on the other hand, I'll speak with them about it. However, the troop's funds are limited and probably won't be able to pay you too well. there's no need for that. Ultimately, we're both making use of each other here. And besides, Monsoon has done their fair share of free labor for me too. Are you happy with that, Leader Zahui? I chuckle and extend a friendly hand to Zahui. She's silent for a moment, and then she extends a hand to me, one that's covered in scars. That's strange. Since when was Zahui such a miser? Fixing this level of synthetic skin damage shouldn't cost that much. Before I can ask further, Zahui nods to me. Glad to be working with you, Commander. It's probably sentimental reason. So far, this story is okay-ish, I guess. It really doesn't help that I have a bit of a cold. It makes reading everything a little bit more annoying. Can't really get as many targets as I would like. But I can't get this, so it's fine. Boom. That's all you can do. Okay, that will kill those two. Bang. And then I can just get to shoot this one. But... After returning to the campsite the next day, Zahui introduces me and Groza to the troop, just in case. I have a set of credentials ready to prove my identity. However, it seems my concerns were unfounded. Once we reveal that there's a VA camp nearby, Zahui has no problems at all convincing the manager to take us on. Soon the troop has freed up a temporary bunking space for me and Groza, while Ida has cheerfully taken it upon herself to show us around. Over here, this way please. After leading us to our quarters, Ida quickly shows us around the facilities and briefs Groza about the troop's activities. In any case, that's a performance schedule. If you need anything, feel free to look for me or the manager. Thank you, Miss Ida. You're welcome to look us up anytime soon. After briefing us, Ida doesn't leave right away. Instead, she ends up gawking at Zah, who's standing by my side. Zah notices Ida's gaze and walks over to her. Ida grabs Zah and pulls it aside before whispering into her ear. Miss Zah, they seem pretty skilled, but that bounty hunter's... Zah looks toward me from a distance. He's a reliable friend of mine. There was something fishy about that attack yesterday, so I asked them to come and help out. I see. Alright, then, still, about that attack from yesterday. Don't worry, I didn't tell the manager about it. Ida visibly relaxes and she bows to Zahui in gratitude. It feels like she might know us. Which would be the second time that someone knows us. And we still haven't really dealt with the first person that seems to know us. Thank you so much. I don't know how to show it, but I'm really grateful to you. Think nothing of it. However, for safety's sake, I would recommend you to leave the campsite as little as possible. Sure, I won't go far. Ida leaves the room after nodding gratefully to Zahui. After she leaves, I smile and approach Zahui. Well, that's the lead of Monsoon Squad for you. I'm sure Diane and the others must have had a much easier time when they travelled with you around. Zahui turns as she hears my voice. Just doing my job as a leader. Is something the matter, Commander? Something's bothering me. It seems Miss Ida doesn't understand the true identity of our attackers. That doesn't seem to concern your mission, Commander. I don't mean to pry, of course. That was just a reminder. Rather than quibble about that, I have a suggestion. The settlement seems quite lively. Would you like to walk around it with me and get a picture of what's happening on the ground? Alright. After leaving the troops' campsite, which is still under construction, Zahui and I walk down the streets of the settlement. The roads are covered in sand and gravel, the houses are run down, and the people are all poor. Settlements like these are everywhere in the yellow zones. The sole difference is that the one we're staying in is fairly large, which is most likely why the troops chose to base themselves here. Still, the livelier a settlement is, the more likely it is to draw the Vegas' attention. I turn my eyes outside the settlement as the thought crosses my mind. Piles of rocks and drifts of sand hide the land of the sky in the distance. But I know that there's a lurking threat hidden in that distant valley. Just as I'm about to head outside the settlement, Zai comes to a halt. Commander? Hmm? Why do you ask me to go with you? If this is meant to be a secret investigation, there's a chance that the secrecy could be breached. We're working together on this assignment, after all. It's better that we interact and get to know each other. Also, things in the Yellow Zone can be pretty complicated, and I'm empty-handed right now. I feel better with a certain squad leader by my side. According to what I know of you, Commander, dealing with over 10 Vegas by yourself, even without a Dog squad backing you up, should be child's play for you. Besides, you still have Miss Groza too. Indeed, which is why this is only part of the reason. The other reason is you, Zahui. The truth is, there was something I wanted to discuss with you on the day Monsoon at the concert. Unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to do so. I'd say, yes. It was unfortunate that we could not speak. What do you wish to talk about, Commander? Monsoon and the Almo. I know that you're the leader of Monsoon's squad, and you're not part of the Almo. It's not easy for a gust of wind that's used to freedom to suddenly have accept a new environment. I'm grateful for the fact that you were willing to stay with the Almo for the sakes of Diane and the others. They are my friends. Yes, and you're a good leader. That much goes without saying. But even though you're the leader, I can sense you're changing too. Right now, the way that you're talking to me is completely different from when Monsoon first came to help me. We bounty hunters have a keen noses, so feel free to talk about anything you want with me. Zai does not answer. Or perhaps we could discuss it with Monsoon, if you think it would be better that way. It won't take long for them to come here from the Elmo, and there'll be extra hands for the commission. Zai remains silent, her face still blank. According to Zhang Yu, her facial actuators were damaged in combat, and as a result, she doesn't show much in the way of facial expressions. But sometimes this poker face of hers is the perfect camouflage for her feelings. I look straight at Zahui, silently waiting for her to answer. Just then, I hear the sounds of an argument from a nearby hovel up ahead. It's not like that, listen to me. Those letters I sent were just... Listen. Listen to how you... If not for you, Ferris wouldn't have... No, Ferris, she... Look, just listen. For some reason, the pleading girl's voice sounds strangely familiar. Zahui and I exchange looks. We nod, then take cover nearby. Enough of this bullshit. You think I'm going to buy the goody two-shoes act? You're just... It's all because of you. No, I really didn't. I know that you're someone like this. Because of you, Stop pretending already. Get lost. Get out of here. The argument doesn't last long. Soon the owner of the nasty voice departs, leaving behind the sound of quiet sobbing. It lasts for a while before gradually tapering off. Then a familiar figure steps out from behind a wall. It's Ida, the lead actress of the Talia troupe. She rubs her tears away as she walks. Her clothes are dusty, and her hair is a little mussed, probably from a scuffle just now. Zai frowns and prepares to stand, but I put a hand on her shoulder and gently shake my head. Don't go right now. It might be a personal matter for Ida. Zai doesn't answer, but she doesn't move either. It's only when Ida leaves that I lose my grip and let her rise. As expected, Zai doesn't go after Ida. Instead, she fixes me with a cold look. Why'd you stop me just now, Commander? If this is a personal matter for Ida, butting in rashly would only make things awkward for her. The troupe is about to put on their show. It would be better to figure out things out and then ask Ida about it later, rather than incur unnecessary trouble. This isn't the first time Ida's encountered something like this. What? The dispute just now was very intense. If that man keeps bothering Ida, it might end up affecting the show. We still don't know the full picture yet. Barging in thoughtlessly might only make things worse. In the contamination zones, there are times when minding your own business is not a bad thing. That's what Ida wants too, isn't it? Zahui frowns. Minding my own business. So this minding your own business to you... So this is minding your own business to you, Commander. I see. Zai's expression doesn't change, but I can hear a hint of disappointment in her voice. However, this is the most sensible choice right now. If Ida objects, then I will not pursue the matter for now, but if it affects the upcoming play, I will not remain silent. In any case, I'll look around the area for now. I can handle things here by myself. You should head back to the campsite, Commander. It seems Zai has made up her mind. I sigh, then turn to leave. We'll discuss it after she settles down. By the time I return to the troops' campsite, the stage at the center has begun to take shape. A group of people are gathered around it, and Ida seems to be in the midst. As I approached, Groza turns to me from where she's standing on the edge of the crowd. Commander? What's going on here? Miss Ida's rehearsing. Apparently there was a recent revision to a certain scene. I look at the heart of the crowd. Well, this is just a scene rehearsal. Ida's completely into it. There's no sign of the tears she shed just now. Oh. Shortly afterwards, Zahui enters the campsite too. Ida still performing, so Zahui frowns slightly before standing aside to watch in silence. Soon the scene is over, and the audience erupts with thunderous applause. Oh, that was a great change. It's even more moving than the previous version of the scene. I bet that tour is going to be a great success. Alright, so I'm happy that everyone's so confident about the tour, but I'd like to hear from our audience too. Ida steps out of the crowd and beckons to me and Zahui. Hi, two. You saw a rehearsal just now, right? What do you think? It was very compelling. As for the fine details, Zahui, you've got stage experience. Maybe you'd like to field this question? I smiled and glanced at Zahui. She considers her words for a moment, and then begins speaking in an earnest voice. I think your performance was very professional. When I arrived later and only managed to see part of it, the girl Zola that you played was lively and animated and very likable. A final promise to a friend was very stirring too. I'm sure it would have won the hearts of the audience even in the green zone. However, the delivery of some of the lines seemed a little unpolished. Further practice might be required. Sounds harsh, but that's high praise coming from Zahui. After hearing her words, Ida scratches her head bashfully. Oh, but that's to be expected. After all, the character was modeled after Ida. She was? It's nothing. Right, I need to go check my costume with the director. If there's nothing else, let's all go take a break for a bit. Miss Ida? Why are you looking for me, Zahui? Upon seeing Zahui hesitate, I cut into the conversation. Zahui, shall we talk about the campsite security? Yes. I guess sure we can't. I'll leave it to you then. Gotta head over to the director's office. As Ida leaves and I ask Rosa to continue standing watch by the stage. Zahui's face is blank as ever. Sighing internally, I approach her. What did you find outside the campsite? Thanks to your restraints, I didn't manage to find anyone suspicious. In that case, you shouldn't have thoughtlessly questioned Ida about it either. Commander, are you saying that you believe asking about the matter will be bad for Ida, or that it will affect your investigation of the Villegas? While I said I was willing to work with you, I was upfront about how the investigation would take priority over protecting the troop. Currently, Ida's situation is not related to the troop, and working with you does not extend to interfering with the actors' personal lives. I do not wish to give rise to unintended consequences by doing so. In the Yellow Zones, supplies are not cheap, and while I don't know how Monsoon operates, for a bounty hunter, minding your own business is an important principle of survival. Zahui falls silent, as though she hasn't expected me to state my position that frankly. She frowns slightly, but in the end she simply fixes me with a calm gaze. Since you've decided to prioritize the investigation, I have a request of my own. I hope that you will not jeopardize the show for the sake of your mission, Commander. Of course, I have my principles too. I'll inform you if I discover anything unusual. I hope you will keep your promise, Commander. Zahui turns and leaves after saying those cold words. As I watch her go, I rub between my eyes in resignation. This misunderstanding is only going to get worse at this rate. Is there a way to soften Zahui's attitudes? What will Monsoon Squad do when they have a dispute? Monsoon Squad? Nah, idea springs into my head. I'll pull my terminal and find the names Diane and Jungyu. I'm sorry, girls. It seems I'll need your help again. In the wilderness, a jeep races towards its destination. The doll in the front passenger seat leans against the window, idly rapping on the scratched glass. Fix this, go faster. The commander and Zahui will have walked out on each other by the time we get there. The doll in the driver's seat stomps the gas pedal once again, but the only reply is a low humming of the engine as it strains under its weighty burden. Zhangyu, we've been driving at top speed for a long time now. Any faster than this jalopy will probably come apart before we even reach the campsite. After hearing Diane's reply, Zhangyu pouts and curls up in his seat. Fine. Truth is, I just want to see the commander and Zahui ASAP. That poker-faced woman cruelly dumped us to take on a mission by herself. Can't wait to see her staring idiotically when we just show up. Zhangyu, I know you're still mad about what happened back then, but the commander didn't ask us to come in order to make things worse. You don't want Zahui to truly leave Monsoon, do you? Heck no. Why else would we be rushing like this anyway? Okay, fine. Relax, Pixis. I promise I won't get mad at her when we meet later. At most, I'll see if she gets back to the Elmo before she secretly thumping her a little. And that's if she comes back at all. If we can't convince her, we still have Faye, don't we? She's on her way too, isn't she? Faye's never gone along with the others, but even she is willing to come to the Elmo, so there's no reason why Zoe would refuse either. We can't really say that. After all, Zoe isn't an ex-Gryffindor. Such a pain. Monsoon's still Monsoon, even on the Elmo. And the Commander's a really nice guy, too. Do we have to choose between Monsoon and the Commander? Why is Zoe making things so difficult for us? Indeed. Perhaps this problem isn't just for us, but for all of Monsoon, too. The interior of the Jeep is silent for a little. Diane frowns as she gazes into the distance, then floors the accelerator once again. That's like this entire half of the map already on. No. Kill the froggy. And then you just drive your motorcycle right through here. Let's go. It is a fiery afternoon and the Talia troops' campsite is boiling hot as you'd expect. The troops members hurry back and forth, rushing to set up the stage, rehearse and prepare props. Zahui grows an eye, infected by this industrious mood, and find herself taking part too. Suddenly, I hear the sound of a happy shouting from the distance amidst the sweltering heat. Commander, Zahui! Zahui turns and freezes up. Meanwhile, I turn just in time for a gust of crimson wind to slam into me. The impact is so massive that I lose my balance and stumble back. Ah! Look out! Just as I'm about to fall, the hand reaches out just in time to steady my shoulder. At the same time, the girl who just glommed me barely manages to correct her posture and helps Zahui stand me back up. Sorry, Commander, it was an accident. I'm okay. With my feet back under me at last, I look at the girl before me. Her long twin tails are fluttering in the wind, so the smile on her face is so bright that it makes me feel happier just looking at her. I reflexively reach out to affectionately ruffle her hair. It came fast. Almost caused a speeding accident, in fact. Damn. It's just because I missed you so much and didn't want to be apart from you for a second, Commander. And I guess I mixed Zahui too. In any case, the moment we got your message, Bixis and I came here as quickly as we could. Isn't that right, Bixis? Jungyu laughs and turns to Diane, who's only just arrived. We're not late, are we, Commander and Zahui? There's an apologetic smile on Diane's face as she turns to the green-hued doll. Forgive us for acting hastily and coming here without informing you. You have nothing to apologize for. In the first place, decision-making authority was in your hands while I was away from his squad. Zaya remains calm even when confronted by the sudden visit from her teammates. Jungyu seems annoyed by this and gets up in Zoe's face. Wait a minute, why isn't your mouth wide open? Aren't you the least bit surprised to see that Bixis and I are here? I am surprised, but it's not a tickle-me-throat doll that opens its mouth. But I'm not a tickle-me-throat doll that opens its mouth wide when you squeeze its tummy. Also, my emotive expression modules will only support opening my mouth to a limited extent. Ah, that's why you're so annoying. Bixis and I came all this way over, and you aren't even reacting to it. Do you not care at all? Jungyu. Zaya looks at the fuming Jungyu in the eye and shakes her head. It's not that I don't care. It's just that I guessed you would come. Why you came. As such, I have no choice but to accept your arrival and to introduce you to everyone in the troop. Saying so, Zai pulls Jungyu and Diane over and smiles faintly to the troop members who are gathering around them. Ida, manager, everyone. These are Diane and Jungyu, my friends from my bands. Like me, they have extensive stage and combat experience. Welcome. Are you the ones who've been traveling and performing everywhere, Miss Aoi? With Miss Aoi? Indeed, they were interested in the troops' upcoming play and insisted in coming by to help. Please feel free to tell us if you need anything over the next few days. We'll be in your care for the time being, everyone. Diane smiles and bows. Upon seeing how Diane is acting, Jungi's face lights up with a smile too. Yep. Just let me know if you need any help. I can work, fight, and perform. Oh yeah, I can do kung fu, sing, and play the drums too. Wow, really? Miss Jungi, can I consult with you on the finer points of fight scenes? It might end up useful in a play. Of course. In fact, I can give you a demonstration right now. Empty space. There we go. Come on, this way. Jungi drags Ida off to the side and proceeds to give her an energetic display of martial arts moves. Yeah. Let me just quickly sit down a little bit differently. It's very warm. And I'm getting very sweaty. Painful. Painfully warm. Diane shakes her head with a smile as she watches Jungi's antics. Really does go full throttle all the time. Still, there won't be any problems. See it. Would be nice, wouldn't it? Still, there won't be any problems with blending into the troop now. Well played, Commander. I'm impressed. Zion looks at me and her smile fades. Please forgive me. I simply did not want to cause any misunderstandings between us. I believe that we'll be able to get along better with Diane and Jungi around. And as for the future, thank you for your concern, Commander. Zion interrupts me halfway through my explanation. I will carefully consider the future of Monsoon Squad. I will say that we're like halfway through the story so far, and it's kind of spinning in circles. It's weird. We haven't really found out anything yet. Although there's a slight tension between Zahui and Diane and Jungyu, it doesn't affect the assignment. The show preparations are proceeding apace. The stage is finally completed by our 4th day in the settlement. The troop decides to conduct an internal test show that night. The music stops, replaced by an enthusiastic applause from the audience. One by one, the cast members take the bows, and the director waves excitedly to the audience from the stage. And that's a wrap. A big thank you for everyone making this test show of Daybreak's Oath a great success. Following the director's announcement, the cast members gather excitedly into a group hug. As the lead actress, Ida is naturally in the center of the group. Ida, you're amazing. I didn't expect the changed finale to be so moving. Thank you, everyone. But I couldn't have done it without you. Be it the script revisions or in the light of performance and joint rehearsals, I'm so grateful to have your support. Ida bows deeply from where she's standing in the middle of the crowd. The director comes over and pats her on the shoulder. Come on, Ida. No need to be modest. We all know just how hard you've worked to make this tour a success. I'm sure Ferris' parents would understand your feelings if they were here. Sent the invitations out long ago, but I guess they won't be coming. Otherwise they wouldn't. Ida sighs quietly and drops the subject. Then she instantly wipes her dejection away like it never existed and smiles as she grabs Zahui's and Jungyo's hands. That's right, Director. I've learned lots of interesting things recently while talking to Monsoon Squad. For instance, Jungyo's kung fu moves look really cool on stage. I was thinking that maybe we could work them into a next production. Wow, really? Yep, I still remember that super cool flying kick you showed me. Would be the perfect for a fight scene. Also, just as Ida begins to act out the move with Jungyo in the tow, a dark shadow falls from the sky. Look out! Zahui pulls Ida away from just as a glass bottle filled with paint hits the spot where Ida was standing just a moment ago. The paint inside splashes out as the glass shatters into fragments, blooming into a lurid, savage flower. Before Ida can react, a second and a third bottle sail into the campsite, interspersed with a hail of stones and leaving streaks of paint all over the stage. Hey, someone's causing trouble! Diane, protect the cast and the commander. Jungyu, with me. Zahui's voice remains on the wind as she leaps out of the campsite, landing behind a nearby wall. With lightning speeds, Zahui seduces a suspicious man hiding behind the wall without giving him any time to respond. On her hand, Jungyo's also grabbed someone outside the campsite. Both of them drag the men to the center of the campsite. Despite being pinned down, they're still struggling and cursing. Who the hell are you? Let me go! Yeah, you're just a crappy group of actors. What right do you have to grab me? Get it through your thick skull. Stop going around doing shows and get lost now before you mess up more people's families. Shameless and harbor criminals. The lead actress Ida or whatever is a murderer. That makes the rest of you guys accomplices too. Shut up. Zai knocks the ranting man out with a knife hand strike. After seeing how his friend was KO'd, the other man shrinks away in terror. However, when he sees how Ida is not trying to stop this, and in fact lowers her head in dejection, he starts cursing again. As the verbal abuse grows louder, Zai scowls and takes out a knife before pressing it to the man's neck with a cold look in her eyes. Hey, let's talk this out. No need to get serious. Alright then, talk. Why are you attacking the troop? We were hired. Our client only gave us the money and told us to make trouble and mess up the show. And what's all this about a murderer? I don't know either. The client just told us to say that. Yes, they've got a grudge with your leading lady. He said she... Before he could finish, Zion knocks him out as well. She glances at Jung and Diane, indicating that they should drag the two unconscious men away. Then she looks at me, who is standing aside in the distance, until he gets Zai's meaning and enter the crowd before giving the director a meaningful look. Miss Ida looks like she needs some rest. Let's end the rehearsal here tonight. Everyone should turn early. We'll clean up the rest. After seeing the director nod, the rest of the cast obligingly disperse. Soon the only people left in the once bustling campsite are the director, Ida, and the dolls. Zai helps Ida take the seat, and then squeezes her hand. Ida, can you tell us what happened before this? Ida's head is still lowered. She remains gloomy in silence. After seeing the state Ida is in, the director shakes her head and sighs. Maybe I should do it. If I'm not wrong, my guess is that the clients who hired those people to attack the theatre were parents of Ida's former friends, Ferris. A former friend called Ferris? Yes. Ferris was a good friend of Ida's and an outstanding young actress. The truth is, she was supposed to be the female lead for Daybreak's Oath. Back then, Ida and Ferris joined the auditions for the part, and they made it through both of them. Ferris was the female lead, and Ida was the second female lead. Ferris and I both loved to act. I still remember the day we met each other. Ida, who's been silent all this time, slowly lifts her head. She looks at the stage, but it seems more like she's gazing into the depths of her past. That day I joined an impromptu drama competition. I was a rookie back then and nobody paid any attention to me. But by the time the competition ended, a girl ran over all of a sudden and praised me for doing a good job. She even pointed out all the little details of my act. We ended up talking for a long time. She even told me her name was Ferris and that she wanted to become a pro actor, just like me. Ida smiles as she recalls a past with Ferris. After that, we became good friends. At that time, all we had were bit parts, but no matter what roles or scripts we were given, we would always rehearse them together so we could critique and further refine our act. Over time, we slowly became able to play supporting roles, and then we both made it through the auditions for Daybreak's Oath and began practicing in the Yellow Zones together, looking for cultural inspirations together, going on tour together. Those were days were really happy, but Ida stops talking, as though she's thought of something, and the smile turns bitter. 2 years ago, when Ferris and I were out in the contamination zone together, we were attacked by the Vegas. The PMC assigned to protect us was taken out by the Vegas, and Ferris too. I passed out back then and was mistaken for dead, but passing bounty hunter saved me. Everyone in the troop was heartbroken over Ferris. We lost a great actress and a good friend. After that, everyone in the troop was grieving for her, and the lead actress for the role for Daybreak's Oath sat vacant for a long time. Later on, I remember that Ida and Ferris had acted opposite of each other and had a tryout for the position. She did well, so we decided to permanently assign it to her. But I didn't expect that my decision would lead to a misunderstanding by Ferris' parents. They thought that Ida had gotten Ferris killed in order to become the lead actress. Did you not try to contact Ferris' parents? Oh, we tried many times, but Ferris' parents thought the troop was in on it with Ida and kept refusing to talk to us. Ida also tried looking for those Villegas, but they've never been easy to find, and the situation was very chaotic back then. With all that time gone by, we couldn't find any evidence at all. And that's how the misunderstanding lasted all the way until now. Yes, the truth is, Ida's been working hard to try and erase that misunderstanding. During this tour, Ida convinced me to change the script and ending as a memorial to Ferris. Frankly speaking, we weren't too happy about the change at first, but Ida went all over to gather inspiration and build up experience as a scriptwriter before consulting about it many times. And in the end, the altered script began to take shape. After we finished rewriting the scripts, we began preparing for a tour. Right after we finalized the show schedule, Ida sent an invitation to Ferris' parents. And you know how that went. Everyone present goes silent as they look at the glass shards and red paint scattered everywhere. Ida, is there anything we can do to help? Stay alert and protect the future shows. That's right. Since they've rejected Ida's goodwill, they definitely won't give up that easily. Ida smiles bitterly and bows to everyone again. Sorry for causing you trouble. Ensuring the shows take place successfully is part of the quest. You don't have to blame yourself for this, Miss Ida. Zai helps Ida up, and Jiang Yu comes over to help support her by the shoulders. Yep. Nothing's going to happen to the troop with us around. I'll be counting on you all in the future. Then, it's getting late and I also need to take care of some troop business. Yes, about those two attackers. Leave them to us. That, Miss I, could you go easy on them? After all, it was because of me that... Relax, we know our limits. Several minutes later, the two hired attackers receive a stern talking to from Zhongyi and slink off, vanishing into the night. As I watch them fade away, I can't help but ponder the situation. So they were hired then? No. If they were like the people who tried to ambush Ida earlier, they're probably related to Villegas too. Before the two men can flee into the darkness, I call out to Groza. Groza, follow them and see where they're headed. Bang, 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 bang. Out in the wild, a petite doll is racing through a herd of eelets. She places shot after shot with deadly precision, driving away eelets that are swarming her. The eelet corpse is ringing her piled high like gruesome sandbags. The gun is starting to heat up, but Faye shows no sign of stopping. Instead, she begins counting the bodies on the ground. 7, 8, 9, 14... Still not enough, again. Faye scowls and leaps up to the slope of the eelet pile. Another eelet lunges at her as the gun is moving behind the targets, between targets. Faye whirls and throws her tomahawk, which cleaves through deeply into the creature's throat. I am actually sad about the tomahawk. Because they worked it differently than it was in GFL1. Because a tomahawk in GFL1 was a normal tomahawk with a scope on the back. But over here, they've just kind of worked that into like a stem-like thing, which doesn't look nearly as cool or funny. Another body hits the floor. The imp shatters the collapsed crystals in the corpse, and the fragments land at Faye's feet. Faye quickly bends down to pick up the chunks, wipes off the icky stuff on them, and shoves them into her pockets. That's what you get for trying to ambush me. Soon, the gathered eelets all have been dealt with. Faye picks up the last collapsed crystal piece and pats her bulging pockets. That should be enough, right? I ought to be able to get a present with these. What is it? According to the art of human interaction, presenting a gift after meeting an old friend following a long separation is a sign of sincerity. So does it mean I should collect more crystals? I still have enough time to kill more of these eelets. Plus the pieces will get worn down in the processing. It'll be bad if I don't have enough. Faye looks up and gazes into the distance. A wisp of smoke curls into the air. It seems that's another eelet pack up ahead. Scope axe reminds me of the knifed scope in MGS. It was a reference to something, I don't remember exactly what. But, yeah, hang on. Doo-doo-doo. It is relatively close, the look of it, but it's not quite it. The axe in GFL2 is way too big, and this scope block doesn't look right either. But yeah. Scope. The X grew up instead of her. Yep. She mounts up on a motorbike and rolls over to the source of the smoke. However, as she approaches the smoke, Faye gradually realizes something's wrong. Wait, those aren't eelets. The source of the smoke lies just over 100 meters away, but isn't being created by eelets. Rather, it comes from weirdly modified Viega vehicles. They seem to have found something, and several converted junkers are pouring fire on a small hill. It's the Viegas again. Did they spread all the way over here? Faye ups the output of her visual modules and tries to see who the Viegas target is. However, she can only make out several indistinct shapes amidst the roiling cloud of dust. Could it be stranded travelers, or resident from a nearby settlement? Nah, who cares? Those Viegas are all assholes anyway. I'll just shoot first and ask questions later. Faye revs a motorbike and rides it into the heart of the dust cloud. Hey, over here! Funny. I also know that she will actually be added to the permanent gacha with the next update. Can I maybe get everyone now? No, I can't. Okay, then I'll get almost everyone. Actually, there's even more up there. There we go. That's still almost everyone, apart from one, and then I can just shoot them. VV! To Faye's surprise, the people surrounded on the hill are actually pretty good fighters and work well with Faye. Soon the Vegas convoy of modified vehicles is driven off. Faye brings her motorbike to a halt and runs up the hill, waving to the people behind the smoke and dust. You guys alright? We're good. Thanks for your help just now. That surprise attack of yours was most impressive. You're welcome. You guys were pretty good too. Are you bounty hunters? I thought you would look her as... As the people she's addressing emerge from the smoke, Faye's words catch in her throat. You guys... Yo, Faye, surprised to see us? See, come on, I told you it was Faye. There's no way I would mistake anyone who lugs an axe around with her all day long for anyone else. It's been a while since 75. I mean, Miss Faye. Yes, long time to see, Faye. I smile and walk up to this door I haven't seen in a long time. 10 years have passed and she's changed her outfit, but her brilliant red hair still burns like fire, and the spirited look in her eyes hasn't changed a bit. I was looking forward to meeting you again from the moment Diane told me she had contacted you. I thought we'd meet at a campsite, but I didn't expect you to run into you here. Can we consider it fate that our reunion took the form of a fighting side by side? Faye seems to want to say something, but she spaces out after hearing me speak. Her mouth hangs half open, and her face turns red as she struggles to find the right words to say. Commander, nice to see you again. I got a gift from you when we met again. I mean, I was planning to get a gift for you, but I haven't managed to get it yet, but I've got the funds ready. She's vibrating in anxiety. Saying so, Faye reaches into her pockets, and then she freezes up. Hey! Faye exclaims in shock and looks down at her pockets. Unable to believe her eyes, she feels around inside. Her pockets, which had been stuffed to the brim just a short while ago, were grazed by bullets during the firefight just now. All the collapsed crystals she worked so hard to collect have been scattered everywhere, leaving only a few pieces sparkling forlornly in her hands. How could my collapsed crystals? Faye? Faye clenches her fist in frustration, then grabs her head. It looks like she's struggling to keep control of her emotions. After a while, she looks up with a bitter expression on her face. I'm sorry, Commander. It looks like your gift will have to wait. Oh, cheer up. So you dropped all the collapsed crystals you collected, so what? Just pick them all up again. I'll help you. What's important is that you met the Commander again, not so present. Yes, seeing you is what matters to me. I pat Faye's shoulder and tried to console her. Faye seemed on edge ever since we met. She hasn't said much, but little she says comes out as nervous stuttering. What happened to her? I remember she was rather hot-tempered than Griffin, but not like this. Maybe I should ask her about it later when we get the chance. Thank you, Commander. I'm happy to be able to see you again, too. That's right. What are you doing here, Commander? It's a long story. You know about the troop, right? Someone caused trouble here last night, and Groza followed them to another Viego camp. Zhang and I came over to help check it out, but not long after we met up, those guys went out for a walk. See, and after this, you're going to... We'll be heading back to the campsite first. Groza got a good picture of the situation here. I believe your teammates are looking forward to meeting you, too. Once we return to the settlement, Zhang Yu practically flies into the troop campsite. Big sis, Zahui, look who I found! Upon hearing Zhang Yu's voice, Diane looks up from where she's working by the stage. Faye! Diane approaches with quick steps, enfolding Faye and Zhang Yu in a hug. Zahui walks out of a nearby tent, having heard the commotion. Faye, what are you doing here? Zahui reflexively glances at me, and I raise my hands defensively. It really wasn't me this time. I only just ran to Faye. Zahui turns to Faye, who walks over and punches Zahui's shoulder. Diane gave me the location. What the hell, so you can go all by yourself and nobody's allowed to follow? The previously happy mood in the air suddenly freezes over. Diane sighs before walking over to the pair, taking a green-coloured arm in one hand and a red-coloured in the other. There, don't get mad. We should be happy that Monsoon's been reunited after so long. Yeah, that's right. Faye came over to help us out. In fact, she helped us to beat up a bunch of Vegas just now. Don't be so stiff, Zahi. I'm also going to quickly note not a controversial opinion, but an opinion that I've been having ever since GFL1. I don't like Type 95 and Type 97, in other words, Jungyu and Dian. I do not like them. They are really boring. Yes, face skills were amazing. Also, do you have anything to say to Monsoon Assembled? Alright. Zahi presses the spot between her brows in resignation. I was hoping that this brief period of independent action would be enough to spur you ladies into calmly considering our future. Clearly the plan has failed. That just means it was the wrong thing to do. It's better to just be frank and speak up rather than having us all stew in our rooms by ourselves being miserable. Isn't that right, big sis Faye? For once, I agree with Jungyu. Yes, I agree that face-to-face discussion is the best form of communication for Monsoon. Much like when you play a song, one must be on the scene to properly judge the audience's reaction. Zahi, well, this was a private commission. You're still part of Monsoon. Will you allow us to help you with this commission for the next 3 days? I mean, your business is Monsoon's business. Yeah, we'll help you out if Amida gives you another job next time. After seeing the sincerity in our teammates' expressions, the coldness on Zahi's face seems to have faded. Zahi looks him in the eye and nods. Alright. Zahi I actually find quite cool, character-wise and everything. And Season 75 was just funny because angry. Very angry midget. Several days later, inside the troop campsite. Monsoon Squadron Groza intensifies patrols outside the campsite for the following days. Despite a little upset during the test show, the attack we feared never came again, and the troop enjoyed a rare few days of peace. It's a relief that the troop has been otherwise unmolested, but I'm hard-pressed to find the rationale for the Villegas' actions. Could it be that the link between the Villegas and the attackers from that night was purely coincidence? Was it truly just the layabouts with nothing better to do nothing better to do accepting a job from the underground? No, perhaps I need to investigate further. There must have been something behind the scenes that I've missed. On the afternoon rehearsals for the troop once the afternoon rehearsals for the troop are over, I seek out Zahui. As she listens to my intentions for coming here, she puts down the prop she is checking and looks at me in puzzlement. So you intend to investigate the Villegas outside the camp? Right now? Yes, right now. You can tell something's wrong too, right? I'll turn to look to the outside the campsite. While things seem peaceful enough in the campsite, the settlement outside is nowhere as warm and as welcoming as it was when we first came. In fact, it feels somewhat deserted. Our audience is gone. That's right, the troop advertised the show heavily, so there ought to be more people here. However, it seems the vague activity nearby has forced people who were planning to watch the play to abandon their plans. Commander, do you think the change of the Vegas' actions is linked to how we stopped the attack on the camp that day? I can't be sure, but we both know how the Vegas are mixed up in this. And besides, the Vegas have been a scourge on the surrounding region, yet the settlement and troop have been completely untouched. It doesn't make sense. I don't think it's because we reveal ourselves, so I don't think anyone would actually pay to invite those starving wolves here. Therefore, I need to head out there on foot to figure out what's going on. Since it's likely that Ida is involved, I'll need the help of Monsoon Squad too. Understood. I can accompany you, Commander. Oh, me too. I haven't gone outside investigating with you a long time, Commander. Zhang has appeared from seemingly nowhere and inserted herself between Zahui and me, followed closely by Diane and Faye, who turned up in front of me. Why didn't you just tell us you needed help, Commander? Yes. Zahui and I would have monopolized the scouting mission with the Commander if it hadn't been secretly followed by you. As I see the looks of anticipation in their eyes, I can't help but chuckle, but eventually I harden my heart and shake my head. The Vegas are still roaming around out there, so we need to leave someone behind to protect the campsite. Zai and Zhang Yu will follow me. Diane and Faye will stay behind and protect the campsite. Woohoo! Understood. Faye and I will mind the campsite. Please be careful, Commander. As the jeep drives deeper into the wilderness, there's still no trace of the Vegas. Zhang Yu stares out the back seat of the window for a long time. But she can't find anything. Bored, she begins tapping out a rhythm on the vehicle's frame. Jiangyu, mind your volume. Okay, fine, I'll stop now. After being reminded by Zahui, Jiangyu sticks her tongue out and grumbles under her breath. These Vegas are such a pain. There's no sign of them anywhere. It's just a waste of your time, Commander. I can't believe we're spending our precious time off on those Vegas. I'm so mad. After complaining, Jiangyu drapes herself off the back of my seat. Still, I'm glad I got to go out with you again on a mission, Commander. It's like that, just like the old days. In fact, I can't help but wonder how nice it would be if the troop could just keep performing. Then Big Sis, Faye, and I could just ignore that crappy agreement and stay with you forever. Right, Commander? The agreement... Actually, Cameron sent me a secret transmission about a month ago when I was assisting 4-4 regarding new changes in the agreement. While quite a few dots have already returned to the Elmo through chance encounters, I was planning to maintain the status quo for a while longer to avoid the Elmo becoming a target once again. But after seeing the gloominess and delight in Jungyu's face and thinking about the pendant that Dine cherished so dearly, I find it hard to keep quiet. Perhaps I can't answer for the world, but at the very least I can give them an answer. Commander? Actually, you can do that right now. You don't have to worry about that agreement anymore. Eh? Jungyu's jaw drops and the eyes go wide. I sigh and smile gently as I can. Just last month, the Non-Military Forces Administration secretly lifted part of the agreement's restriction for various reasons. That said, it was done in secret, so I didn't tell anyone because I didn't want to alarm certain people. Also, I'm just a penniless bounty hunter right now, so all I can do is wander the land, doing jobs that make ends meet. It's a hard life. I don't care if you're wandering or not. I'm happy as long as I'm with you, Commander. I won't ever be a hardship. It won't ever be a hardship for me. I'm sure Big Sis and Faye feel the same way too. But yeah, we'll go back and tell them the good news. I'm sure they'll be really happy if they know we can follow you again. Really now. I chuckle, then turn to look at Zahi. However, I realize that she's staring intently through the windshield, her face grim. Commander, Vega sighted ahead. Problem resolved. Sorry, catch up quick. We can wrap things up and share the good news with our sister sooner. Don't rush, take care of the enemies first. Also, you don't even know if she wants to join the fucking squad. She will, but... I think this is the biggest problem about the storyline. We know that she will join us. There's no way that she won't. So... all of the story in between is just kind of fluff. It's weird. Bonk. I need to shoot that one. And we're done. Thanks to Zahi and Jungyu's combined attack, the ambushing Vegas are soon driven off. We web with the remaining enemies along the way, but don't see anyone else around us. In order to verify the Vegas tracks, we even pursue them all the way to the Vega can be found earlier. However, the brightly lit campsite from that night is now completely deserted. It's as though the bandits were tipped off and vanished without a trace after shifting the area of activity. What's going on? Maybe they got scared by how we've been spanking them over the past few days and ran off. No. Judging by the state of the camp, this was an organized withdrawal. So you've missed them again. Let's over to the other camp that Groza found. We soon arrive at the other camp. However, the situation there is the same as before. Hey, where did everyone go? When I came over with Groza and the commander just a few days ago, there were Vegas patrolling around the area. Indeed. If they packed up and left in just a few days, then where did they go? I leaned against the window and dropped my forehead as I feel a headache coming on. Is there really nothing wrong with those Vegas? In the past, exterminating Vegas was not a difficult task. However, they seem to have become more cunning over the past 6 months. The behavior we saw during this request reflects that they have multiple temporary bases, they actively send out people to take underground market requests, and they can even conduct organized group withdrawals. The vague feeling that there's something wrong about all of this churns in my mind. It's almost as though someone is directing these crude bandits from the shadows. Unfortunately, I have no clues of proof regarding them at the moment. Oh, don't be so down, Commander. Since they're gone, the troop in the settlement will be safe. You should be happy, Commander. It's good for Ida, yes, but it seems to be the bonds It seems the bounty that the commander will receive for investigating Vegas is going to be much smaller than expected. You don't hold back at all, do you? That, you're right. I'm sorry, Commander, I didn't think about that. Still, there's no need to worry. Now that the agreement's been loosened, Monsoon will help you out with missions as long as we get to stay on the armor. In short, you won't have to worry about starving with us around. Is that so? I'm looking forward to that. Hey, me too. There's all sorts of fun stuff on the armor, and a lot of the old friends. Well, not just the guys from Griffin, but a lot of new friends too. We aim to make new friends too, right? Zhang Yu tightens her grip around the steering wheel, and her eyes sparkle as she fantasizes about what the future holds. Zai says nothing, only listening quietly. And I want to head back to the campsite right now and see the look on Big Sis's face. Big Sis and Face faces when I tell them the agreement's been loosened up. Hold on tight, Commander. I'm putting the pedal to the metal. Zhang Yu mutters about the agreement to herself as she speeds all the way back. Soon, the jeep lurches to a halt. We're at the campsite. Commander, we've arrived. Zhang Yu eagerly dismounts and runs up the nearby Diane and Faye. The flurry of wild gesticulation that follows tells me, even without hearing the words, that she's informing them about the agreements. Sure enough, Diane and Faye run up to me a moment later. Come on, is what Zhang Yu said really true? Is the agreement annulled? I nod. Strictly speaking, it was because the terms have been loosened that, after the previous assistance to 4-4 concluded, you were allowed to stay on the armor. So if you don't mind following me on my wanderings, you can come back to the Elm and stay with me permanently after this contract is finished. It's wonderful. I've been looking forward to the day I could officially join the Elmo, to the day when I could return to your side for good, Commander. Diane strokes a pendant on her wrist. Me too. I'll follow you anywhere, Commander. Doesn't matter where you go. Monsoon Squad is always about traveling, after all. Alright, since you're willing, I have no reason to refuse you. However, it seems your leader still hasn't chimed in yet. I look towards Zahui. She's been keeping in her distance ever since she got down from the vehicle. Zhang and the others all look expectantly towards her, expecting Zahui to respond with a smile. Diane's expression is colored further with mild concern and worry. As expected, Zahui simply toys with the knife she's holding. The expression is cool and even as ever. We haven't reached the deadline for the suggestion yet, so my answer is the same as before. So you want me to join the Almo? I will need to consider it, but I will not stop you. Huh? What's there to consider? The command is super reliable, you know? You don't need to overthink this, Zahui. You know, I've always been waiting for this to happen. The air turns chilly. Diane steps forward and carefully ventures the question. I never asked this before, but is there some reason that you're reluctant to join us, Zahui? Zahui doesn't answer. She simply continues rubbing the handle of her knife. Upon seeing Zahui's reaction, I sigh inside. I probably won't be able to get the answer out of her today. After patting the others on the shoulder, I chuckle quietly. Well, if she needs to think about it, then we don't need to have to press her for an answer today. The troop will be performing for a while. You can always decide once the contract is done. Again, the way that this is written is just weird, because we know that she joins us, right? Unless they pull a funny and, like, this unit that you can pull for doesn't actually join you. Which would be respectable, but it's unlikely. The week-long schedule of shows is slowly winding down. During this time, the Vegas are still active in the wilderness, but they don't harass the troop again. The attack Ida feared does not take place, and the troop's performance receives glowing reviews. On the night before the final performance, the troop's campsite is brightly lit, and the members of the troop are gathered in the heart of the campsite, nervously preparing for the last show. When daybreak comes, I shall go with... Ida, mind your blocking. Ah, sorry about that. Let's do it over. When daybreak comes, I shall go with the winds, onward to a kingdom on the faraway clouds. Ida, your delivery just now was too stiff. I'm sorry, After the second reminder, Ida stumbles a little as she gets to her feet. Even the most clueless actor would be able to tell that right now, she's not in the right state of mind for a rehearsal. The director sighs and pats Ida on the shoulder. Relax. If you're not feeling well, then go rest up a little. We'll go over the other portions first. Thank you. Ida nods to the director in gratitude and slinks away from the stage. Zai rises from a seat in the audience and silently follows her. Miss Ida? When humans are bothered by something, do they feel better when they talk to holes in trees? What? So if there's something bothering you, why not try telling me about it? If nothing else, my color scheme is about 70% similar to a tree hole. I figure I ought to be able to provide 70% of the functionality of one. That's a really weird thing to say. Ida freezes up and carefully looks Zahui up and down before bursting into laughter. Yeah. Miss Zahui, is this how you always comfort your friends? Not always, but right now it seems to be working. Thank you, I do feel a little better now. Upon seeing that the sight of Ida's eyes has abated a little, Zahui walks over to Ida's side. Are you feeling anxious about tomorrow's show? Yes, I believe Ferris Paris won't give up that easily. Miss Ida, I don't know what will happen tomorrow, but as an actor, your sole duty is to deliver your performance. Ensuring that the show is safe is Monsoon Squad's duty. Got it. Thank you, Miss Zahui. I'm sorry for subjecting you to that terrible performance just now. No matter what happens tomorrow, I'll pipe myself up and properly prepare myself for it. Ida smiles and nods to Zahui, then turns to head back to the stage. Zahui watches Ida leave, noting the extra spring on the step, and then she returns to the audience seats. After the rehearsal, in the corner of the camp, having confirmed that her various tasks and preparations are complete, Zahui is about to head back to rest when she suddenly feels a weight on her shoulder. Hey, ambush successful. Big sis, Faye, come quick. Having managed to grab Zahui's shoulder, Zhang excitedly waves the others over. Soon, Diane and Faye have arrived, flanking Zahui. Faced with the ambush, Zahui raises her hands in resignation. I don't recall a pre-show celebration of the cards. No, it's not really a celebration, we just have a few questions for you. Faye rubs her head, and their expression turns serious. That is to say, what do you think of the commander? Yeah. We were all in a rush when we came over to help the commander out, so you probably didn't have much of a chance to talk to him. But now, it's just as Monsoon Squad and the commander. Plus, you've been with him for so long already. Surely you must have made up your mind about him by now, right? The last show's tomorrow. Zahui, no matter what you're planning to do, won't you sit down and talk things through with us before making your final decision? Yeah, I had you just up and left the Elmo without saying anything. I'm sorry, I was planning to make my decision after the commission was complete and I could discuss things with the commander. I didn't think that I would cause so much trouble for everyone. Nah, who says that you're troubling us? You're always so decisive in whatever most of the time. Why are you all so hesitant now? We've known each other for so long. You can just tell us if you've got anything on your mind. Zahui, you can tell us directly if you have any doubts or questions about the armor. After all, Monsoon's been through a lot over the past years, and we've faced it all together, haven't we? Yeah, in the past you were always the one to come up with a plan when we ran into trouble. Now you've got trouble, so you should tell us about it. We're a team after all. Thank you. I'll be frank then. It's true, I have my reservations about joining the Elmo. However, they are not related to the Elmo or Monsoon, but rather my past. Zahui looks down at the scars on her hands. A moment later, she looks at Diane. I want my choice to be meaningful, so I'm sorry, I can't give an answer right now. Diane steps forward and gently grasps Zahui's hands. It's alright, Zahui. We didn't approach you tonight to ask you to do anything. We just wanted to tell you that you've always been a great leader for all these years. Yeah, you might have it out for me, but you're really actually pretty trustworthy of a squad leader. Monsoon might not even be here if it wasn't for your ideas. Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't follow orders from just anyone. So we truly hope that we can continue traveling with you. I hope so too. And I will also seriously consider the matter in the future. After noting that Monsoon Squad's almost done talking, I head over and knock lightly on a nearby tent pole. Sorry to interrupt, but I'd like to talk about the campsite's defensive posture for tomorrow. What do you have in mind, Commander? I believe the Vegas have not given up the big fish that this troop represents. Those two attacks on Ida weren't coincidences, merely probes. Zahui nods in agreement. Yes, they were using them to determine how well the troop was protected. Indeed. While the mental image of the disciplined Villegas might sound strange, if they were really planning on making a big haul, they would probably hold back until the tour was over and the troop's temporary guards were gone. I don't want anything to happen to the troop after we leave. Rather than leave those Villegas free to threaten others, I'd rather look for a chance to put an end to the matter once and for all. Was this why you kept sending Miss Groza out after the Villegas over the past few days? And here I thought you were going, to mind your own business. Come on, it's not like bounty hunters only have collapsed pieces on the mines. And besides, I also want to... A series of gunshots and explosions outside the campsite interrupts my words and shatters the silence of the night. Come on, it's the Vegas are here! So they came after all. Ladies, prepare for the fight. It's gonna be really funny because, like, it's a big fight and everything, but all things considered, it's gonna be really easy because we're so over leveled for this. Faye was assigned to clear the audience out. Let's eliminate the remaining enemies. I also really can't wait until we get, like, actual GFL-style stories. Because so far we've had like 2 or 3 glimpses of the quality of GFL writing in this game, but that was kind of it. I'm a little disappointed by it. Because, again, like, yeah, you need a start point and everything, but, like, I do believe that that GFL1 was a little bit faster about getting to the good writing styles. At least it feels that way. Oh, let's just set some stuff ablaze. Boom. Can't see anything else. That's not quite right either. That's mildly annoying. That is what it is. That's auto for the rest of the turn because they're just gonna chill. And now you just shoot him. But the Vegas who attacked the settlement are swiftly beaten back by Monsoon Squad and Groza's combined efforts. However, the campsite was caught in a crossfire, and much of the intricate backdrops and stage is destroyed. Anything remotely valuable in the backstage area has vanished. But the campsite is in an uproar. The two managers frantically shuttling between the stage, the admin tent, and the costume racks, totaling the losses of the while Monsoon Squad and I help out. Just then, Actor runs over. Manager, it's bad. Ida's gone. Huh? Tell me, be clear about it. What happened? The cast was doing a headcount just now, and we couldn't find Ida. After that, someone mentioned that they think they saw several Vegas going after Ida when the campsite was being attacked. And also, someone was guiding the Vegas. I think it was the people who came over to cause trouble for us earlier. Wait a minute. Are you saying the troublemakers from earlier were inside were inside men for the Vegas, and that Ferris' parents hired Vegas to attack the troop? No, I don't think so. When you consider how Ferris died, there's no way her family would have hired Vegas. I think they were just making up shit. The underground markets are chaotic and hard to manage. It's more likely that the commission to cause trouble here was coincidentally taken by the Vegas. Vegas needed an insight man. And that's right. The tour was heavily publicized, so the Vegas have probably had their eyes on the troop for some time now. The commission was put out by Ferris' family, then the commission put out by Ferris' family gave them the perfect excuse to sneak around the campsite without arousing suspicion. Will the Vegas actually do that? Do they know how to wave their guns around? Don't they only know how to wave their guns around? That wouldn't normally be the case, but it seems the Vegas have grown a brain over the past few months. Commissions involving them have gotten harder and harder to complete as a result. While they are still fairly amateurish in actual combat, the ability to strategize does seem to have evolved a little. Damn it. Then what should we do now? A sudden ringtone from the comm terminal interrupts the manager's words. The manager frowns and picks up. We instantly hear a girl's screams from the other side of the connection. It only lasts a second, and the girl's voice cuts off, replaced by a short-tempered voice. Heard that? Your lead actress in my hands. Bring her ransom by tomorrow. I'm warning you now. Don't try any fancy shit with me or the chick dies. The call cuts off, and the campsite instantly goes silent. But soon, a cacophony of voices erupts from all around, and panic swallows the entire troop. There's Ida voice. Vegas kidnapped Ida. Detective manager, what should we do? Can we really trust Vegas? What if... Amidst the clamour, the theatre manager walks over to me, a look of utter helplessness in her eyes, and tightly squeezes my hand. Please, please save Ida. We'll try to get the ransom together, but we can't let anything happen to Ida again. Alright, calm down, no matter what... Before I can finish, Zayas already walked up to us. Commander, allow me to handle the rescue. I've seen enough kidnappings to last me a lifetime. The scum only know how to bully the weak and torment others. I don't know how people live in the contamination zones, but stepping in when I see injustice being done is how I live. And now that I see it happen, there's no way I can turn a blind eye to it. I know that, but please wait a moment. Zoe's eyes narrow as a stopper. Don't get me wrong, Zoe. Calm down and listen to me. I massage the space between my eyes as I take her in her guarded attitude and suspicions. Looks like she's really misunderstood me. Then I shake my head and look her in the eye. Zoe, I feel the same way as you. There's no way I would simply stand aside after seeing something like this. That has nothing to do with being a bounty hunter. That said, stopping you comes from my experience as a bounty hunter. I believe there's a better solution for this matter. Two more chapter parts, and then we're done. Inside the darkened corner of the Vega warehouse, I secretly slip a thin razor blade out from behind my layers of clothing. I remember the calm look on Zoe's face as she slipped into my sleeve. Carried this blade with me all this time just for situations like this, when I'm trapped among the enemy. Since you're willing to take the risk, Commander, I'll give you this blade. The blade is sharp, so be careful not to cut your fingers when you retrieve it. Sorry. I feel for the blade and take advantage of the fact that there is nobody there to cut the ropes binding me. Soon the ropes fall apart behind me, and I work my shoulders to free myself. As I tuck the little razor blade back into my thick sleeve, it nicks my fingertip and coolness oozes from the point of contact. It really is sharp. I ignore the pain in my finger and fish out the micro communicator in my collar before calling Zahui. There's hardly any delay before the call goes through. The plan was successful. I'm inside the Jaeger's warehouse. So the definition of success is pretending to be defeated and captured so they can throw you into the warehouse while tossed up like a turkey. Hey, it beats mindlessly charging in. This place seems tightly guarded, and the rope work is sloppy. Looks like these Vegas really aren't experienced. Oh, yeah, your knife was really useful too. As long as you're safe. Have you found Ida yet? Yep, Ida's in another corner. I think she's fainted. I'll go wake her up now. Wait for my signal. How are you and Jungyu? Ready to move on your signal, Commander. Alright. I hang up and quietly approach the corner where Ida's lying. Ida's face is pale as she lies on the ground, on the cold ground. Hands are tied behind her, and her tired body is curled into a ball. I bend down and start cutting her bonds, and I pat her shoulder before calling her name. Ida! Ida! Wake up! After a while of this, Ida weakly opens her eyes. Upon seeing me, she grabs hold of my sleeve. Her eyes go wide and fill with tears. Please help me, it's them. Zahui, Diane, and Jungyu hide behind a pile of rocks, keeping a watchful eye behind on the nearby Vega encampment. Sounds of merriment and occasional laugh come from within. It seems they are celebrating their recent victory. Jungyu pouts in annoyance as she crouches by the rock pile, bored out of her mind. Yeah, I'm so bored. Why hasn't the commander given the signal yet? Be patient. Weren't you about to butt heads with the commander yesterday? Why are you willing to listen to all of a sudden? That was then, this is now. Zoe's eyes do not leave the Vega's campsite, even as she delivers a flat reply. Oh, I get it now. You realize how trustworthy the commander is, haven't you? Zoe remains silent, but then a command suddenly comes over the comms channel. Zoe, go. Acknowledged. Yeah. I'm gonna quickly drink something. My voice is dying. Do give me a quick moment. Eat warm. Pack my life. We've infiltrated the camp and are poised to initiate the attack. What's the situation over there with the boss? Everything is currently going smoothly. Let's begin as planned. Understood. Jungyu, Diane, initiate the attack. Let's go. Set the right side of the map ablaze. We can even kill that guy up there. Neat. And then only those two are left. Cool. Bang. Done. As I send the transmission to Zahi, I instruct Ida to hide in a corner. I ensure Ida is well hidden and take cover behind a nearby heap of junk, my gun ready in case we're attacked from the outside. Soon gunshots fill the air outside the warehouse. The gunfire draws closer, someone kicks the main door, and a familiar form rushes in. Commander, Ida. We're here. Zahi swiftly rushes over to our side, then nods to us. Jung and Diane are covering us outside. Come with me. There's a side path we can use to leave the encampment. No, we can't leave now. At least not like this. And what's the reason for that? I took a commission from Ida. Zahi raises an eyebrow. Time is tight. I'll cut to the chase. Just now, Ida told me that she recognizes these Villegas. Yes, I admit, Miss Zahi, I've seen them before. Ida's eyes suddenly fill with anger as she tightens her grip on Zahi's arm. Her voice is trembling. Last night, when I was brought here, I saw the leader, the Villegas leader. He was wearing a necklace. I remember, the necklace was a birthday gift from our family. Ferris cherished it dearly, and she'd wear it everywhere. That's why I'm certain of it. He was the one who led the Villegas that attacked me and Ferris. Correct. And so, Ida made a request of me. She wants to wipe out these Villegas to avenge Ferris. I accept it. And now, Zahi, you have a choice. Are you willing to join me in clearing this list of Villegas? Of course, it's going to be more dangerous than just escorting Ida out of here. For the first time, there's an almost imperceptible smile on Zahi's face. It would be my pleasure. And on to the last chapter part. Oh, so it's the old scrap metal causing havoc in my camp? Go, everyone get in there. Knock this guy's head off for me. Zahi, keep a tight watch on them and don't let even one of these scrubs escape. Ah, understood. That is very funny. Because I can put Zahi in here, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Because honestly, in comparison to the two squad leaders of 4-4, the power difference is immense. And that even though that Vivi is a support unit, and the support unit only. But look at the sheer damage that she deals to the boss. With just her one attack. Sure, you get to kill the boss. Bang. And then she can zoop. Which is kind of neat. That kills that guy back there, and then we still have D36 to kill the guy in front. Die. Zahi and I coordinate with each other and corner the Villega leader. What should we do now? There are no police stations in the contamination zones. We do have the bounty on the way. Either you hold your peace forever, or you leave no regrets behind. Though when it comes to scum like that, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I spared him. A single gunshot fills the air, and the bulky man wearing a necklace slumps against the wall. Contract closed. I recover the necklace from the man and indicate to Zahi that we should leave. Zahi seems a little pleased with herself right now. Let's go. I turn and head out out of the encampment. Some return this to Ida. 2 days after the Vegas were eliminated, the Talia troops campsite is abuzz with activity. Tonight, Daybreak's oath will be performed in the settlement for the last time. Night has just fallen, and the temporary seating is packed with audience members who have come here from nearby settlements. As the show progresses, the sounds of applause and sniffling comes from the seats, and when the final scene arrives, all eyes are on the girl in the center stage who is illuminated by the spotlights. I'm sorry, my very best friend. Please forgive me for bidding you farewell. For last night I received word from the Goddess of Dawn. She told me that when daybreak comes, I shall go with the winds, onward to a kingdom on the faraway clouds. But my dear beloved friend, do not be saddened by this parting. For you know that it has always been my wish to become that faint ray of light that illuminates the dark night. As she recites the lines, a twinkle of light blossoms in her hand. She holds up this radiant mote and descends from the stage into the audience seats until she finally arrives before a man and a woman. And so from now on, so as long as you can see the sky at dawn, remember that ray of daybreak and know that I wish you well. Let this necklace be proof of our pact. No matter where you may be, so long as you need it, it shall become the daybreak and defend you. And with that, Ida gently lifts her hand and deposits Farah's necklace into the couple's hands. Then, Ida bows deeply to the two of them. I am so sorry. Zoe and I watched the end of the show from an unobtrusive corner of the audience. After seeing Ida finally embrace Farah's parents, even Zoe's cool expression seems to have softened a little. Good ending, don't you think? It is good that the misunderstanding could be resolved, and it is also good that you were willing to testify about the evil deeds of the Vegas. Otherwise, Farah's parents would have found the tale too hard to believe. So, does that mean a misunderstanding has also been resolved? Can you tell me about the reluctance to join us? Zoe is silent for a while, and then she nods. Before joining Monsoon Squad, I was used to traveling alone and dealing with any dangers I encountered by myself. But after becoming part of Monsoon Squad, Diane, Jungyu, and Faye became my friends. We traveled together with the same wish in our hearts, just like Ida and Ferris. I once thought Monsoon would keep traveling like this forever. While everyone kept talking about finding their commander, they were still limited by that agreement, so I believed that the day when they would do so was still far off. Thus I did not think much about what would happen once the agreement ended, or what I would do. So when I realized that there really was a chance for them to go to the Elmo, I hesitated. If everyone else in the band chose to return to the Elmo, then what about me? Zai pauses for a moment. She runs her fingers over a knife, and then looks at me. The members of Monsoon often told me about you and your shared past. So before I make my decision, I would like to know, what made you walk this path of self-exile? To my knowledge, you're not compelled to become a wandering bounty hunter. Oh, me. I look up at the sky. Too many scenes from the past flash before my eyes. What exactly was it that made me choose my present course? I think of the flames from that explosion, and that one-sided farewell. In order to give all of that some sort of meaning, I finally chose to sign the agreement, much as I loathed its terms and the fact that I had done so. Stunned, my emotions fly into disarray. I shake my head, and my gaze settles on the nearby stage. As it was for these people, Ferris, Ida, and the audience members watching the play, just like you. Perhaps I could have chosen a better paying way of life, but if I had, I would always be taking and carrying out orders. But boarding the Elmo, perhaps I could follow my heart and help the people who needed saving. But then again, maybe I just did it for myself. So, I'm sorry, I cannot answer your question because I still haven't accomplished anything yet. Is that what you wanted to hear, Zoe? Zoe remains silent, and the night shrouds that poker face of hers. She looks down at the scars on her hands, and there's a vague sense of confusion in her eyes. Once, I simply did as I was told, never questioning the rightness of my actions or the lack thereof. After that, I learned that I could choose for myself. And so you chose Monsoon. Not just Monsoon. When I joined Monsoon, I also chose the future that I wanted. So what kind of future will you choose now? Again, we already know that she's joining us. Zoe looks up. She stares into my eyes and the confusion from before now is gone. Commander, I am not like Diane or the others. I have not experienced the days of fighting by your side in Griffin. That is why I cannot immediately decide to board the Elmo and follow you. But of course, I would like all those who join the Elmo to do so of their own free will. However, this commission has allowed me to get the measure of your character, and since my friends in Monsoon Squad trust you completely, I think I can trust you too, Commander. In the past, I've chosen to travel with Monsoon Squad. Now I think I can choose a future of traveling with the Elmo. Surely a journey with you will be a pretty good one. Am I wrong? And with that, Zai watches me quietly. In terms of doing good and stopping evil, it ought to be pretty good. Upon hearing my answer, Zai smarts a barely visible smile again. Then from now on, the tactical Dorzahi shall join the Alamo. Here's to jolly cooperation, Commander. It is late at night, and the bustling crowds have receded. The actors have cleared away their costumes and props are now taking a break, leaving the campsite silent at last. Just as I'm about to return to my tent, I hear a familiar and gentle voice from behind me. Commander, do you have a moment? Diane, what are you doing here? Something the matter? I came to return to this. Diane smiles as she approaches me, then she extends a hand to me, revealing the intricate pendant in her palm. The thunderbolt-shaped symbol on the pendant gleams in the night. That's... My thoughts return to a time several years ago. It was before that I was officially reunited with Diane. A certain request that had led the Elmo traveling near the Green Zone. There I received Diane's signal, a blue ribbon brought back by Groza after she returned from a mission in a satellite city. Without news, without a message, we were separated by just a purification zone. These were the limitations imposed by the agreement, and also a sign of Diane's care and concern. At Groza's suggestion, I had to pass Diane the pendant. This was the keepsake that you had Miss Groza give me. I still remember the words when she told me that day. Bathed in lightning and rain, waiting silently amidst a storm, the blue-white flash shall one day be seen. That is the origin of the name Elmo, and also the promise you made with me, is it not, Commander? The character spent with me during our time apart, got me through the countless lonely days when my thoughts were of you and gave me the strength to keep moving forward. Thanks to its existence, I always believed that one day I would be reunited with you, Commander. You're right. The rain and the storm have passed. Welcome back to the Elmo, Diane. I looked toward Diane, but just as I'm about to retrieve the pendant, she suddenly pulls her hand back. She altered her palm, looking tenderly upon it, as though she were caressing it with a gaze. Commander, the truth is, I have a request to make of you. Though we are now reunited, I've always etched the meaning of this pendant onto my heart. If I might, could I continue to hold on to it? I will always cherish the spirit in which it was given. Still holding the pendant, Diane gazes into my eyes, her face flushing a faint pink. Of course. Shortly afterwards, in the Alamo. Several dolls who have travelled from afar are now gathered at the foot of the massive vehicle. The twin-tailed girl tucks on the hand of the blue-cloth girl, hopping around excitedly in front of the Alamo. So happy, Big Sis, we've returned to the Alamo again. No, yes, I didn't expect we'd be able to come back, and now our dear leader Zhao has returned with us. Yep, Monsoon's back together again. Is it really alright? The agreement... Relax, the commander said that our friend in the non-military forces demonstration, namely Miss Kalina, will help us take care of it. We won't have to worry about the paperwork. So let's enjoy a reunion with the commander. Wow, is that the commander coming out? I'm feeling so nervous all of a sudden. Well, that's unusual. To think that the day would come when Monsoon's best drummer is blushing. How you're still making fun of me at a time like this? Simply trying to add to the mood, and an opportunity presented itself. But I guess it worked pretty well, no? With a wow, Jungyu runs to the Elmo, and Diane follows in resignation. Faye strides into the Elmo too. Zaya walks at the back of the group at a leisurely pace. What does the future hold for Monsoon Squad? Zaya looks up at the person on the Elmo who's waiting for them. Perhaps he will give her the answer. Honestly, pretty meh story, all things considered. Was it bad? No. Was it great? No. It was okay. It really doesn't help that a lot of it focuses on Diane and Jungyu, and I just don't like them. Out of all of the banner dolls so far, Diane is the only one that I don't even have a single copy of. And that's probably going to stay that way, unless she somehow becomes, like, meta or some shit at some point. You can probably see that here? Just resend that. Yeah, Diane's the only one that I don't have as of now. I just don't care for Diane. At all. She's so incredibly boring. Anyway, this is going to be it for today's stream. I am very hot. I'm fucking melting. The melting wolf has returned yet again. So, let me see who you can raid for today, as I'm ending my stream. I do not believe that I have many people that are alive. But I at least have one. Oh no, actually there's plenty of people alive. Holy fuck. That's so many. That is so many. I don't know for how long he'll continue. Or if he's even aware that he's still streaming. I think they're just ending. That's funny. Let me think of... You know what? I'll send you over to Retro. I don't know what he's playing. He's playing something. Oh no, the ice cream wolf is leaving us. It is very warm. That's a hair killer wolf. It is 28. Actually, how warm exactly is it right now? 26C right now. It's not great. But yeah, I do have to end my stream for today, because I do have to work tomorrow, and as you can maybe hear a little bit, I do have a bit of a cold. Not a lot, just a little bit. But it is what it is. When Americans so see means nothing to me. Only 20. It might just be that my room is still warm, because, you know, I currently have 2 PCs running. So together, yeah, hang on, how much is... 78.8. Now, I know that that is not necessarily that much compared to certain places in America. However, humidity is really high here because I live relatively close to the coast. And yeah. I hope you have a great evening, though, as, again, I am going to send you over to Retro, who is currently playing a thing. I don't know what thing, but a thing. It will be fine, I'm sure. Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna send you over to there. Call him a nerd. It'll be fine, I'm sure. It seems to be some kind of side-scrolling game. I have no idea. 78 is too much for me, to be honest. Need 62 at all times. The thing is that Fahrenheit is really weird for me to understand, because I don't think it's a linear scale. That's 16. That's a bit cold. Well, not cold, but it's okay. It's nice weather. But anyway, as I said, I'm gonna send you over to Retro. The timer's going already. Call him a nerd. He's playing a thing. I don't know. I have never seen this game before. Just, yeah. Have a good night. And I hope to see you again tomorrow, where I will be playing something. It might be GFL1 stuff, or it might be something entirely different.